Right, welcome to the stream. Here we go with season 5, a new season of the League of Extraordinary Investigators. I can't even say it. We are now tackling 5 of the Circle Undone scenarios. We've pre-selected 5 that lend themselves to scoring, basically. If you've seen any of these streams before, you'll know that this is a solo campaign, although this season we are allowing two-handed plays. We score each scenario based on how well we have performed in terms of the outcome of the scenario. We lose points if we make any mistakes. Somebody else will be reviewing our streams. So without any further ado, let's go through to the setup. Hello. So I've already pre-selected my bag based on me not rejecting my fate, so I have taken the 2 tablet tokens, mainly because I want to avoid the presence of extra -3s in the bag. Will probably shoot me in the foot later. Never mind. I am playing Dexter Drake. I'm playing the book version rather than the Innsmouth version. So I have Molly Caldwell as an assistant and Yash Taroth, I think his name is, as my weakness. The main fun of having Molly in your deck is that you can, as your glamorous assistant, sorry, I was sneeze. Well, that's professional, isn't it? I've not even checked if my cameras are in sync. That's not too bad. Second or so out, almost. Hopefully my audio is in sync as well, but I really should have practiced, shouldn't I? Let's see. Right. Okay, setup. So you can see the bag. It's the standard bag, and as I said, with 2 extra tablets because I have chosen to reject my fate. Nice clanky bag. I have already shuffled off camera, but I will do just a little bit of an extra shuffle here just to be on the safe side. And if I remember right, the setup is simply putting 5 witch haunted locations out, or in front of me, or not connected to each other. They are connected to each other, but only in front of you, aren't they? Again, these are already shuffled, but I'll just give them a little bit of an extra one on camera. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm using a new microphone. I've got myself a decent mic, but I bought it second hand, so I'm not sure how well it's performing. I might need to tweak the settings later. So let me just double check the setup instructions just in case I've missed anything. Right, I've gathered all the cards. I've set aside Agents of Azathoth and Agents of Shub-Niggurath. Put 5 witch haunted locations into play. So I have here 6. So let's just, to make sure I am not pre-selecting these, let's lay them all out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's 7. Okay, I was going to use a dice. Never mind. Let's just shuffle then. And because there's so much text in the Circle Undone, I'm not reading all of the introductory blurbs. So right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So put 5 out, and I think it's the others removed from the game, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Do my opening hand. What I'm looking for is Molly, I think. Well, let's see, eh? We'll go 1, shriveling, 2, the 13th vision, 3, premonition, 4, David Renfield, 5, spectral razor. Okay. So spectral razor is good for fighting. Using my head of 5 for fighting. It is an event, so it's a one-off. David Renfield will give me extra willpower when I put Doom on him. Premonition lets me prejudge a Chaos Bag pull. 13th Vision is a weakness, so that doesn't come in my opening hand anyway. It's not one of these ones that says otherwise, is it? No, so I'll get another one. Two base. I've got Drawn to the Flame. Draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck to discover 2 clues, and Shriveling. Again, fighting. So I think I will keep Shriveling. I think I will keep Drawn to the Flame. And I'm tempted to lob the rest back. Premonition maybe. I think I've got 2 in my deck. Spectral Razor again is a one-off. I'm tempted to ditch that in the hope that I can pull it back later. David Renfield. I think I might keep David. I think I'll ditch those 2. Lone Wolf. Quantum Flux. Okay. So that is my opening hand. Right. So, turn 1, I will pay 1. Actually, let's put myself at a location. That will probably be a good thing to do first, wouldn't it? I will start at, let's go in the middle. Why not? Shroud of 3, 2 clues. After any number of clues are discovered from this location, you must lose an equal number of resources. Okay, so ideally I want to be spent up when I find clues here. Sorry, I've got this cat allergy sniffles. Right. So, what should we do? I could go all in and just go Drawn to the Flame and just take 2 encounter cards right off the bat, but that feels a little crazy to me. My investigation is only 2 against a Shroud of 3. Quantum Flux isn't much use at the moment. Oh, and I should be shuffling these into my deck, shouldn't I? I always forget that. Something's bugging me about that top camera. It's got slightly down off the edge. Let's. Off of that. Okay, so let's pay 2 for David. Let's pay 1.
You'll need an app for me to help you with that. You could try searching the App Store.
Let's pay 1 for Loner Wolf, ready for next turn. That leaves me with 2 left. there any point in just doing an investigate at this precise moment? Not with a test of 3. Not with it being 3 on a 2, I don't think. I don't think. Obviously not. Actually, I've not read the agenda in the app. So agenda 1A, Temperance 14. Remain calm and you may peer into an uncertain future. The balance of the universe has tilted. You are the fulcrum. Be patient and all will be revealed. And we have a limit of 8 doom on there. I always forget what the term is. Threshold, is it? I can't remember. Okay. And then Act 1A, Lost in the Woods. You have awakened alone deep in the woods south of Arkham. The mysterious soothsayer is nowhere to be seen. You rise up from the muddy trail and try to find your bearings. An oppressive weight hangs in the air. Locations in front of you are connected to one another. You cannot enter locations in front of other investigators, which is fine because there aren't any. At the end of the round, spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. So I need 2 clues to advance. I have 2 clues here. I could just be crazy and pull 2 encounter cards, but I'm about to pull an encounter card anyway because I've already taken 2 actions. So for my 3rd action, I'm going to be reckless. Why not? I'm going to play 0. For Drawn to the Flame, I will draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Dissonant Voice says you cannot play assets or events, and Coven Initiate. Revelation, discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and draw the topmost hex card in the discard pile. So I get Bedeviled. Okay, so I've drawn those top 2, but I get 2 clues. I lose 2 resources, thanks to Witch Haunted Woods. I'm about to get hit by a Coven Initiate. I could just advance the act here and now, couldn't I? I think. Because that was my 3rd action, was to... 3rd action was to play Drawn to the Flame. So that is the end of my turn anyway. I'll do this at the next go. Right, enemies attack, so that's 1 horror on... what's Dexter like? He's got 8. Okay, Dexter can take one of those. Ready cards. Gain a card and a resource, and I gain another Drawn to the Flame. What is this game trying to tell me? Add a resource. Doom on the agenda. And we draw an encounter card, which is Centuries of Secrets. Test head of 5. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Okay, I'm going to exhaust, as a free action, exhaust David Renfield and put Doom on him. So now I have 6 head. And it says that you can't trigger action abilities. That was a player window ability, so that is fine. Then I will, let's do the test, shall we? 6 on a 5. 6 on a 5, and I get a -2. So that's failed by 1. So I discard 1 card from the encounter deck. It is Ancient Evil's Omen. If a Cursed Treachery is discarded, it is not. Okay, so I've got away with that one. Right. Well, let's advance the act anyway, because it's not an action, it's a player window thingy, isn't it? Probably should have done this last turn. Each investigator must randomly choose one of the set-aside Arkham Woods locations and put it into play in front of him or her. So, let me just make sure they're all... Right, so I have to give those a shuffle. we have 6, so let's the dice choose for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 to 6. And we get a 2, so we will have that one. Immediately move to that location, cannot be cancelled. 4 shroud, 1 clue. Each investigator spawns a set-aside goat spawn at his or her location. This is going well. There are not 4. Then we test head or evade of 3. I wonder which one I will do. Let's test head of 3. I get +1 head because of David, so I'm now testing 6 on a 3. Tablet is a -1, I think. Yeah, so that's a pass. If you succeed, exhaust the enemy and disengage from it. Shuffle one of the set-aside copies of Demonic Piping into the encounter deck. Place the other 2 copies in the discard pile. Okay, so that's a clever way of making sure they don't turn up imminently, but they go back in the pool when we next shuffle in. Okay, cool. Right, we're at Witch Hauntings now, and all of these locations are connected to the Arkham Woods, but are they not connected back again? Interesting. So is that all one way? Well, no, locations in front of you are connected to one another, so they're all connected. I don't bother with the things. Right, whichever ancient rites are being practiced in these woods, they are attracting the attention of all manner of vile beasts. Why did you draw 2 encounter cards from Drawn to the Flame? Did I read it wrong? I did. Oh well, making it work, making it harder for myself. Well, I'll leave it in play now. I guess I could lose one of those legitimately. Never mind. Sorry, because of the colour of the font on there, I can't read who that is. So sorry, I can't read your name because the blue on the black background isn't so great. And this dashboard doesn't seem to be refreshing to show the chats. And Tramitoseros, however you pronounce that, sorry. Hello. Right. Yeah, I booked up there, so that's a mistake, but it's a mistake not in my favour. So just making the game more difficult for me. It's too late to unpick now because I've done more dealings of encounter cards and such like. I am rubbish at this game. Okay. So I'm still at my first action now. Let's see what we can do with the Coven Initiate. Not a lot, to be honest. My evade's 2, my fight is 3. Yeah, I think what I was thinking about that Drawn to the Flame is that Coven Initiate caused 2 cards to come off the encounter deck, and I must have been getting them mixed up. Oh, and at the start of my turn, I got an extra resource for Lone Wolf. Mustn't forget And David Renfield. When did I exhaust him? That was at the start of this turn, wasn't it? When I was dealing with the test. Okay. I haven't got any chance of discovering that single clue, but I have the Coven Initiate to deal with. I could take an attack of opportunity. Oh no, I haven't got enough money to play Shriveling. So do I just try and evade? Let's just try a single fight, 3 on a 2. 3 on a 2, tablet is a -1. So that is 1 damage on the initiate. Second action, let's fight him again. 3 on a 2. Tablet again. Coven Initiate is dead. That's 2 actions done. Third action, I'm going to get rid of Bedeviled. So that's a 3. 6 on a 3 because of David Renfield's extra head. 6 on a 3. Auto fail. And I also didn't do that test. After you head to this location, test head of 4. My head is 6. Skull is -1. So I passed that false test there. Okay. No hunter enemies in play. No enemies to attack. Ready card, so he readies, engages with me. David readies. Card and a resource, and I draw Delve Too Deep. What idiot made this deck and filled it with extra encounter draw? Okay, doing on the agenda, that flips to 2, and we draw another encounter card. Rotting Remains, test head of 3. So 6 on a 3. And I get a -3, that's a pass. Okay, action 1. We need to do something with this goat spawn. This time he's got a fight of 3 and evade of 2. I've got nothing to boost my evade with at the moment. And I need to get my extra resource from Lone Wolf for it being the start of my turn. I had 2 last turn, I got 1 in upkeep, and that puts me to 4, so that's correct, yeah. Right. I could use Dexter's ability to swap out, say, Lone Wolf or David Renfield for a Shriveling. That is a player window action, so it's not taking an action, so won't provoke the cost of opportunity, the attack of opportunity, but the Devil will stop me using Shriveling, so it's kind of pointless. Do I try a 2-on-2 evade and just run away? Because he has got retaliate, so if I fail the hit, he'll hit me back, but if I fail the evade, he won't. So action 1, let's just do an evade. I will lob in Quantum Flux for the wildcard pip, so that's a 3 on a 2 evade. 0, that's a pass. So he is evaded at this location, action 1. Action 2, let's try and get rid of Bedeviled. Test head of 3, 6 on a 3. -1, that's a pass. Pity he wasn't a witch, but never mind. Okay, That would have been automatically successful. And then for my third action, do I just play shriveling and wait for the guy, or do I move and try to get a clue elsewhere to move the story along? Because I'm certainly not going to get a clue here on a 4-shroud location. Right, I will... I'm going to pay 3 for shriveling. It has 4 charges. Let's just do that. 3 and a 1. And that was my third action. Right, no enemies are awake. Ready card, so he readies, re-engages. Card and a resource. I gain a Scroll of Prophecies. Gain a resource. Doom on the agenda. We're at 3 out of 8. Sorry, 4 out of 8 with David. And we draw our encounter card, which is a Covered Initiate. Revelation. Discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Are either of them hex cards? One of them is. Draw the topmost hex card in the encounter pile. Oh no, that's only if it runs out. That's okay. Fine. Right. 2 guys to deal with now. Better get shriveling. Action 1, shrivel the Coven Initiate. So I am going in with my head, which is 6, thanks to David. I don't think I got that resource, did I? For it? Oh no, we didn't have a Doom on him at the time. Sorry, let's get it. So I'm going with 6 against a 2. But if I reveal a symbol, I take a horror. 6 on a 2. -3, that's a pass. That deals a +1 damage, so the Coven Initiate is dead. I should have got an extra resource for Lone Wolf as well. Action 2. Let's shrivel again, shall we? That takes it down to 2 left on shriveling. So again, 6 on a 3 this time. 6 on a 3. And we get an auto fail. He has retaliate, so he hits me back for 1 damage. Third action, let's do it again. So that's a 6 on a 3. Skull is a -1. So that's 2 damage on him. Okay, once our enemies move, he's already here. He attacks me for 1 physical, I think that is, yep. I'm going to put it on David. Ready cards, nothing to ready. Card and a resource, I draw Ace of Rods. And a resource. Doom goes to 4, 5 out of 8, and we draw an encounter card. Evil Pass. Put in your threat area. When the encounter deck runs out, take 2 horror and test head of 3. Action 1. Right, we need to punch that goat spawn, don't we? Did I draw a skull on shriveling? I think I did, didn't I? So I should have taken 1 horror. Right, action 1. Let's shrivel the goat spawn. Shriveling's a bit of a waste, isn't it? But it's a more reliable way of dealing with him because he's a 3, I'm a 3. I don't have anything I can boost it by. Assuming I play the, I'm not familiar with Ace of Rods, I'm assuming I play it for its 3 cost as normal, and then at some point I can use its free ability to discard it and get the skill boost and an extra action. Okay, so let's shrivel the goat spawn. 6 on a 3. Elder sign. And Dex's elder sign is you may return an asset from your play area to your hand and then draw a card. I think I will return shriveling to my hand and then draw a card. 6 cents. And the shriveling attack was successful. So the goat spawn is dead. Let's move on to action 2. Right, let's move. Let's go to the one at the end. Another 3 shroud location, 1 clue. When an enemy would spawn at a different witch haunted woods, spawn at this one instead. Then it immediately attacks you. Right, I'm moving again. My investigate is only 2. Could throw a short draw onto the flame into. No, I'm moving. Shroud 4. So I think that was my 3rd go, wasn't it? My first go was dealing with the goat skull, 2nd go move there, 3rd go move here. Okay, no enemies in play. Nothing to ready. Card and a resource. I get Eldritch Inspiration and a resource, and I think I forgot my extra resource from Lone Wolf at the start of that go as well, didn't I? Right. Doom. We go to 5, 6. Out of 8, draw an encounter card. Demonic Piping. H has Surge. If Piper of Azathoth is in play, deal a horror to each investigator. Otherwise, put it in play next to the agenda deck. It has Surge. Evil Past. Put Evil Past in your threat area if there is no copy of it in your threat area. If there is, discard it and it gains Surge. Another Coven Initiate. Revelation. Discard the top 2 cards. Okay. You can have one if you want. It's fine. I have all the others. Right. What do I do? Come on. Right, I've got Covenant Initiate to engage with me. I need a clue. I can't get clues from this any of the locations I've discovered so far, so I need to head over here. But I need to deal with the Covenant Initiate first. Although I could investigate using my head, if I've got 6th Sense out. I can replay Shriveling to do some fighting. I mean, obviously these are going to trigger attacks of opportunity. I have active rod to give me an extra go. I've got scroll of prophecies, the extra card draw. I've got delve too deep. I could draw an encounter card, and then I know that just gets a victory point, isn't it? And I've got drawn to the flame, so I could draw the encounter card and discover 2 clues. Right. Right, well, I'm just going to, first of all, I'm just going to try and evade the Covenant Initiate. 2 on a 2. 2 on a 2, and I draw a -3, so that's a fail. So I'll try one more time. 2 on a 2. And I draw a tablet, which is a -1. And the tablet says, if you fail, draw the bottommost treachery in the encounter discard pile. So we have treachery is dissonant voices. I cannot play assets or events. Now I drew the encounter card, didn't I? That was the Covenant Initiate. I took 2 actions. Both were failed evades. So action 3. Let's evade him again. 2 on a 2. Skull -1. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Right. This is getting dangerously low, thanks to my reckless playing. Right. That's the end of my turn. End of my turn, Dissonant Voices goes away. Oh no, end of the round, Dissonant Voices goes away. 1 to enemies move, no 1 to enemies in play. Enemies attack, he hits me for 1 horror. Horror! That puts me at 3 horror out of 8. Ready card, nothing to ready. Card and a resource, that's putting me up at my hand limit now. Card and a resource. Doom, we go to 6, 7 out of 8, and an encounter card. It's another Dissonant Voices. Well, that one went away at the end of that round, but this is a new one for this round. Okay, action 1. Let's evade the Covenant Initiate, and I'm going to throw in Quantum Flux because I'm not really getting through my deck. That's the only thing I've got I can boost it by, so that's a 3 against a 2. I wasn't playing that event, I was just committing it for cards. 3 on a 2, oh, for points. 3 on a 2, and I get... Okay. Second action. 2 on a 2, evade. This is getting silly now. 2 on a 2, evade, -1. Third action. 2 on a 2. What am I doing? Let's just do a 3 on a 2 punch. Hang on. Am I being an idiot? No, I haven't got that card. 3 on a 2 punch. Skull is a -1, that's a pass. So I should have been doing this all along. I could have killed him by now. Right, so that's my 3 actions done. No enemies, no one to enemies move. He hits me for another horror. That puts me 4 out of 8. Ready cards and a resource. Dissonant Voices goes away. I get Liquid Courage. That lets me heal a horror. What shall I lose? What shall I lose? I'm going to lose Delve Too Deep. I don't know why I put it in there in the first place. Alright, Doom, that goes to 8. Puts me back down to 5. And the agenda advances. The moon reaches the height of its arc in the night sky. The trees begin to shift and twist in the breeze. Blah, 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 blah. Be gone or face the consequences. Discard all but the last 5 cards from the encounter deck. All but the last 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Investigator with the most cards. Yeah, that's going to be me anyway. Must draw the topmost witch enemy in the encounter discard pile. Topmost witch. It's the priestess of the coven. She gets +1 fight and +1 evade for each witch enemy in the encounter discard pile. So that is. That's not a witch. That's a witch. 1. That's a witch. 2. Right, so that's +2. And I drop the cards on the table. Just leaving those 2 sticking out like that. See that? So that I can remember that. So she gets +2. So she is on 5 fight, 4 evade. And I've still got the Coven Initiates to deal with. And I've still got my encounter card to draw. Frozen in Fear. Move, fight or evade costs an extra action. Right, start of my turn. I get an extra resource from Lone Wolf for what it's worth. Money coming out my ears. Right. Let's look back at my deck. What can I do? What's that draw? That's about an extra. It's got to be in play. My shriveling isn't in play. My 6th sense isn't in play. I'm in a bit of a dead end here. Move, fight or evade is going to cost me 2 actions. So let's fight the Coven Initiate. It's now a 5 on a 2. I will exhaust David to put a doom on him. So that puts me at 6. What am I doing? Why am I doing a 6? My evade is 2. My fight is 3. 3 on a 2. I could lob in a shriveling, but that feels like a waste. Okay, let's go with 3 on a 2 on the Coven Initiate. And I draw -2. That's a fail by 1. That cost me 2 actions, thanks to Frozen in Fear. And my 3rd action, let's just try again. Punch the Coven Initiate. 3 on a 2. Skull is a -1, so that's a pass. So the Coven Initiate is gone, but that now means there are 3 witches in the discard pile, which boosts the priestess by even more. What do enemies move? No, they don't. Enemies attack. Well, before I do that, end of my turn, test Frozen in Fear. Now I will, this is what I was thinking of, I will exhaust David Renfield to put the doom on him. I will test 6 on a 3. 0. So Frozen in Fear is out. So the witch attacks me. That's 2 physical. I think I'll take them both. Ready cards. So ready David. Card and a resource. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the tower. You cannot commit card to skill test while the tower is in your hand. And a resource. And forced at the end of the round to place a doom on the agenda for each witch enemy at the Witcher's Circle. Well, the Witcher's Circle isn't even in play yet because I am so far behind. Yeah, shouldn't even be out yet. I need to get past this. Right. Doom and an encounter card. Diabolic Voices, test head of 3. For each point you fail by, discard a random card from your hand. So that's 6 on a 3. So I fail by 3. Discard 3 random cards from my hand. Oh, hang on, this gets +1 difficulty for each copy of Diabolic Voices in the encounter discard pile. 1. Two. So that's a test of 5. So I failed by 5. Did I just knock on the floor then? What's the piper? So I've got to lose 5 cards. I lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all I have left are Ace of Rods, Scroll of Prophecy, and the Tower. The Priestess is got 2, 3, 4, 5 fight and 5 evade. My fight is 3. This is not going well at all. Right, start on my go. I get a resource. This is just awful. So her evade is 5. I can't do anything about that because my evade is 2. Her fight is 5. My fight is 3. So I'm 2 behind on the fight. I don't have anything in my hand to help me fight. I don't have anything in my hand to help me evade. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend 4 to play the tower because it's stopping me committing cards to skill tests, and hopefully I didn't make a mistake there because I don't think I've been committing many cards. I have to take an attack of opportunity from the Priestess, so that's 2 physical damage. I'll take 1 on David Renfield. Sorry David, you've helped me well. And I'll take the other. So that's putting me at 4 out of 6 health and 4 out of 8 ting. I will There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to pass. I don't want to trigger any more attacks of opportunity. She's going to hit me anyway. There is nothing I can do, is there? Well, what I could do, that's what I can do. I'll use Dexter's free ability during my turn. Discard an asset you control and replace it with a different asset from a different title for 1 less cost. So that's costing me 2 to play Ace of Rods. I use that marker to remind me I've done that this turn. Because that was a fast action, that doesn't trigger an attack of opportunity. Then I will use that fast action to remove Ace of Rods from the game. Take an extra action which gives me +2 on my skill test. So it's still not going to help, is it really? Let's shall we just get a punch in? Because that would put me 3, 4, 5 on her 5, as opposed to evading, which would be 4 on her 5. That's all I can do. That's the nearest thing I can do to actually doing anything. A 5 on a 5 single punch. 5 on a 5 single punch. Where are you? Auto fail. It's a -1. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. She's got retaliate as well. So she hits me back for 2 physical damage. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm dead. That was awful. Absolutely awful. Well, I made it harder for myself, as my viewer pointed out, that I drew 2 encounter cards instead of 1 on Drawn to the Flame. Apart from that, I don't think there were too many mistakes. I think I've just been a bit unlucky with the draws. Or maybe I'm just rubbish, one or the other. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. I hope it wasn't too painful. And I shall be back in a couple of weeks with the next scenario.